Aston Martin racing team might be in big trouble before the Canadian race because Lance Stroll's healing is not going well and he might miss his home race. If he can't race, there are some drivers who would really want to drive in an F1 car, including an old experienced driver named Bottas. But what's really important is, will this make Lawrence, Lance's dad, think differently about his son's racing, and if it does, who would be the best person to replace Stroll, not just for Canada, but for the rest of the team's future too? It's not a secret that Aston Martin is having a really hard time right now. Not just because their car isn't doing well in 2025, but because of who's driving it. Lance Stroll has been kind of questionable for the past few years. And even though the Canadian driver got all the points for his team before the Barcelona race, he's been a pretty terrible driver. People wanting him replaced came from everywhere: fans, experts, reporters, and some news even said that Adrian Newey had talks with Lawrence about the future of their drivers. Whatever the case, we're now going to a race where Lance might not be able to participate, and it could be the one that would have made him super happy, his home race. Talking more about this, Mike Crack, who's the main trackside boss of Aston Martin, gave more updates on Lance Stroll's getting better process when he said, "We will have to see what the next days bring us. I understand that there will be more tests and more checkups happening over the next few days, and we will know more in the coming days. Right now, it's really hard to tell you how it's going to go and what is going to happen in the next days, but we will find out." Because of the wrist injury Lance got back in 2023, he had to have surgery before the Barcelona race. The fact that he started the season after his bike accident showed how much he really wanted to race. But there is one thing we can't forget. After qualifying in Barcelona, Lance might have gotten a bit too mad and started breaking equipment and getting into fights with words with the team workers. Right after that, the team announced the Canadian driver will have surgery to make the pain go away. So it's kind of questionable if the incident in the garage made the surgery happen faster. Still, it's a clear sign that maybe Stroll's time in Formula One is over, even though his father has massive power as a team owner. Now, the big question that needs to be answered is who is going to replace Stroll in Canada. The number one choice is definitely Filipe Drugovich, because both the team and the driver said that his first choice will be Formula One if Stroll won't be able to participate. During that weekend, Drugovich has a 24-hour race in Le Mans with Cadillac, but it seems like he is ready to prove that he can participate in Formula One as a full-time driver as well. When talking about possibly racing for the Canadian race, Drugovich said, "Right now, I don't even know how things will happen from now on. First of all, we have to wish Lance the best. For Le Mans in that regard, my first choice has always been Formula One, so that's what must be kept until then." This is more than a clear sign that Drugovich and Aston Martin are ready to race if Lance doesn't get better from his surgery, but the bigger question here is, are they doing themselves a favor with this move, and are they actually ready to take a little bit of a risk by giving the seat to a driver with zero F1 experience? Apart from Felipe, there is another backup driver that Aston Martin can use, Stoffel van Dorn. The Belgian has a lot of F1 experience and has been a very experienced simulator driver, but the most interesting part is that there could be a third option that we haven't been prepared for up until a couple of days ago. Valtteri Bottas came up as a surprising person to replace Stroll. And if you think about it, this could be the best option for the Silverstone-based team. Basically, they are putting in a driver who will drive a car powered by an engine he used to drive from 2017 to 22-1. Also, Bottas is now more motivated than ever to show the possible teams for his contract in 2026 that he hasn't lost a single bit of motivation because of how the Sauber time ended. Obviously, we saw a lot of good times and bad times with the Swiss team, but that chapter of Bottas's career is now closed. He is focused on getting a seat in Formula One. It's very unlikely that any other team other than Cadillac will think about him for the seat because of how the grid looks right now. But it's not a bad thing, really. Bottas has 246 F1 starts under his belt, making him a very experienced and extremely powerful driver to have on your team. Yes, I know what you're thinking. He might be a bit old. And now that the F1 world has moved towards younger drivers, is he really the right option? Don't you want to see what the F2 champion Drugovich has in his skills? But if you are Aston Martin, I don't think you are in a very good position to try new things with the drivers right now. Every point counts in the fight for the best of the rest. And the big drop of Aston Martin in the Constructors' Championship is a clear sign they will need to make big changes if they are to move on without Stroll, talking more about his future in the sport. Bottas was very clear that he is without a seat not because of his own choice, which is why he is not done with F1. Also, he said, "I am sitting here now without a race seat not because of my own choice." I definitely still feel, and that feeling was quite quick after I knew I wouldn't get a seat for this year, that I am not done yet with Formula One. I still have more to give. It's still the number one thing in my life. That feeling now that I've been watching from the side has gotten stronger and stronger and stronger, and now I really start to miss racing. There is no doubt that if Bottas races for Aston Martin for Canada onwards and does an amazing performance, he would massively make his chances better of being chosen by Cadillac. It would be direct proof that he still has it and he's never lost it. It's just the team and the environment that need to be great if they want to see Bottas out there in the best light possible. Even Cadillac admitted that Bottas is a serious person they're thinking about for one of the seats, as it looks like Colton Herta is now not as excited as we originally thought he was when it comes to getting an F1 seat. But the reality is that Cadillac is not rushing their choice and is waiting patiently. And when talking about this to a greater extent, Bottas said, "I don't think Cadillac is in a massive rush. They've been very, very busy trying to get a car on the grid for next year. I know my timeline when I want to know about next year and what plans I need to make. I think August more or less is a pretty good target for that, but hopefully we'll hear something soon." One thing is for sure, this sport is not forgiving when it comes to bad performance. With the only exception being Lance Stroll, despite the strong start of the 2025 season, we could be looking at something that we didn't think was possible not that long ago. A replacement for Lance Stroll, not just for one race, but maybe even for the rest of the season or for 2026 as well, if one of these drivers shows that the car is able to score points in the middle of the pack, something that Lance was able to do on a couple of times in 2025, then Aston would have to think about their options sooner rather than later. Fernando Alonso is likely to retire after the 2026 season, but when certain options are given to you on the table, you have to pick them up as fast as you can. This is why Adrian Newey feels like Verstappen is going to chase the fastest car on the grid, and if they can show they have that project ready in 2026, then it's going to be a different story on the grid. A win-win situation for both teams could be that Bottas replaces Lance and scores points on his first try in Canada. That way, he would make a very good case for Cadillac in 2026, while Aston Martin will show their commitment to Verstappen and making a fast car that can compete in the Drivers' Championship. After all, they have all the winning ingredients from Red Bull's winning time, Adrian Newey and Honda being the leaders of it. With all this in mind, do you think that Bottas would be a great choice for Aston Martin in Canada, despite the team promising to use their backup drivers first? And more importantly, if they choose the Finnish driver's services, do you think he would push them up high and help in the Constructors' Championship fight with teams like Alpine, Haas, and RB? Let us know in the comments below. And once you do that, make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen right now.